We'll go through the lineup though. We saw it last week. The 5 coming down from F1. We've got Perya. We've got Chesnoid in the playoffs for the second time trying to defend his F1 position. Hayden in the playoffs again like he was last season, this time trying to defend his F1 spot. Last season he was trying to get up from F2. Dave Gaming in for the first time. And then we have Curbs, who was probably the standout of playoffs last season. And on the right, you can see the F2 drivers, all in very good form. We should note that as well. F1 Alex wasn't quite able to take the challenge to his teammate, Mr. Dale, across the course of the season, but certainly is going to be one of the big favourites to challenge for that top 4 position. Gwat's been in fantastic form, probably the form driver in the entire field, been brilliant in the last few rounds of F2. F1 Scott's been up and down as of late, but we know the ability that he's got, and Dark Viper came in as a reserve, but certainly made some waves as he joined the F2 grid.
And Curb is doing as much as possible. Peugeot is apparently having some wheel issues out there. That's going to be a really quick fix needed. Otherwise, that's everything saying sayonara. 130R used to be one of the most fearsome corners in the world. Through the Hitachi Atsumo chicane, the right, the left, and then that final right-hand corner where it's so easy to spin up the rear tyres. It will look bad, but that's a good find at the end for third place.
It was third place only, but incredibly close right at the sharp end. We'll get the final results on screen in just a moment, but Curls will be very pleased to start off strongly in third. And that Williams, look at how close it is between the top 6. This is what we wanted to see. Close racing. F1 Alex coming home in first place, taking pole position. A lot of people in the high 1 minute 27s, 14 milliseconds ahead of a brilliant Chesnoid Gaming gets into second place, carrying on the form he started last season in the playoffs by taking pole in China at round number 1. Curbs, like we said, in third, ahead of Dark Viper, been in brilliant form in Formula 2. He will start from 4th. Then comes F1 Scott, just over a 10th back, with Dave Gaming just under 2 tenths back. Watts will be a little bit disappointed by that start, coming into this as the form horse, but only 7th and over half a second down Perya with those wheel issues last of the drivers. Instead of time, Hayden not able to get a representative time because he disconnected pretty much as soon as we started.
And there will, of course, be those 5 red lights that everybody looks to set and get themselves ready for. We are getting things going. Your playoffs start now. What an aggressive line setup by F1 Alex over the formation lap. Hard over to the right-hand side, trying to defend it here from Chesnoid Gaming. There's looks in and around with Curves and Dark Viper down the inside in the Red Bull. But ultimately, everybody scrambles through. And now, through the Ashura S-curve, this is going to be about where you want to go. Nowhere to go. Track almost blocked with this 2-wide running. Curb does not want to yield.
Brilliant start for F1 Alex. He had the really strange grip position trying to cover off Chesnoid Gaming, but it worked absolutely perfectly as we've got a yellow flag further back. I think that's Hayden facing the wrong way, coming out of turns 1, 2, and 3. Scott just holding station as Dave Gaming runs out onto the curb. Already lost a place to Perry, now going to get kicked down. Another one by the Ferrari of G-Watts as he gets all squirmy on the exit of Degner 2. But still the Mercedes of F1 Alex ahead, but Ches right on the back of that silver arrow. F1 Alex still holding station out in front. Hayden with a big game bug at the back. Apparently in spectator cam, that's one I haven't seen before, but still able to have control of the car. 30 seconds off the back of the pack and now retiring. So that is our donut being handed out. Are we going to see a safety car from that Alfa Romeo stopped at the side of the circuit? I think he may have just pulled off into the pits, thankfully for everybody else. But whoa, that is Chet's going very wide over the curbs through Degner 1 and a massive squirm on the exit of Degner 2 as well. File through goes curbs. Dark Viper's going to file past as well, and Ches losing 2 places there with that little mistake, going through the kinks just at the end of the first sector. And now Perry's going to be all over the back of the Haas. You would imagine those soft tyres going to be really starting to heat up as he loses the back end, and that could see him tumbling through the field a little bit. There is that 3.5 second buffer though between 6th place F1 Scott and Watts down in 7th.
Yeah, and this is where you get that double run that goes through, and this is where the crucial run begins to find itself. And there's one pass and there's another. Peugeot is going to move himself up into 4th position, perfectly placing himself into play. But it's Curb who now finds himself in the 12-point position right now, and he realizes that he's going to have to try and break away, but it's going to be tough today because everyone is so closely matched. It's going to be a case, you would feel right now, Tom, of not if you can make a pass, but when, I think, is going to be the more important. So that's going to be where you're looking around and going, well, we're pretty close to the cliff, and at that cliff, you're going to want to make a pit stop. F1 Alex screaming around the outside in the Mercedes to jump back up into the race lead. That is as simple as, where do you want to be? Now, those medium runners are able to go a little bit longer, but these drivers in this train at the front, they're going to want one thing and one thing only here, Tom, and that's track position for the pit. And that might just indicate right now that F1 Alex is finding what he wants. He'll dive in, so too will Curb. And Dark Viper, the only one to stay out there, so F1 Scott in. So Dark Viper going the longest. He's looking for that overcut here. Try and make sure he's got the freshest tyres of the lot. Don't mind being P3, says Dark Viper. We'll get a better start in F2, and that's where he's wanting to play that advantage in the category where he's been driving all season.
Yeah, very interesting tactics already being deployed by Dark Viper, prioritising the F2. How strong is the undercut? We're going to see the Aston Martin flying down the straight. Perry is ahead of Curbs. Curbs are going to be under pressure for Ches swinging around the outside. I think the Haas did get through. Yes, just cut away from it right at the death there, but it is Ches up into 4th place. F1X just about holding on to the net race lead. 2nd place on the road with Perrier, almost pushing the Mercedes through this first sector here. F1 Scott a little bit disconnected further back. Had a really poor pit stop phase, it seems. 2 seconds down with Dave Gaming and Co-op.
And this is where you're going to start asking, where is Dark Viper? Dave Gaming with the fastest lap. He'll be on the back of this group, and he's got to get up to speed quickly. He does have a slight advantage compared to everyone else by tyre life.
Brilliant run. You can see the light flashing at the back of the Aston Martin. We saw on Curbs' steering wheel. He's got a lot of battery left to deploy. Perry could be defenseless. ERS light flashing at the back of the Mercedes as well. Through goes the Williams up into 2nd place. Beautiful stuff as Perrier, really the master of his own downfall there after using all of his ERS to try and stay as close to F1 Axe as possible. Season dropped down into 3rd place, and Dark Viper also on the soft compound tyres. Yeah, but he's got to be careful of the Aston Martin behind Perry, showing that he likes a fight, but could be having to defend here. Does move over to the middle of the track. We're going to see potentially 2 overtakes using the battery. They're saved up by Curbs. Up into the lead we goes around the outside, and the Red Bull goes Dark Viper. Perry sends it back up the inside to try and hold on to 3rd place. Successfully done, but the Red Bull's going to try and continue alongside. It's going to be very, very close. Rubbing tyres, but run out of road. Door firmly slammed shut by the Aston Martin's. Dark Viper has to stay in 4th place for the time being. And look at the gap out in front. Curbs has decided now's the time to bolt. Nearly 8/10 of a second to F1 Alex. And the Aston Martin. Dark Viper not with a lot of battery left as well. Over to the right hand side, we're going to go with Perrier. This is his opportunity. He's going to send it up the inside into the chicane. Formerly known as the Casio triangle. Just enough space left on the outside for the Mercedes, but around the outside we go, and there's contact further back. Dark Viper and F1 Alex tripping over each other, allows F1 Scott, allows Chesnoy Gaming to file through up into 3rd and 4th respectively, and Scott not satisfied with just taking 3rd place. He's going to challenge the Aston Martin as he's down into turn 1. No, doesn't quite have the top end speed to get ahead of Perrier there. I think this could be a routine move as Curb down in front starts the final lap of the race. He's going to fly past with the use of DRS and a bit of battery. This is like taking candy from a baby. Through goes the Papaya McLaren, and the British Racing Green of Aston Martin is relegated down into 3rd. Curbs managed this race absolutely beautifully, and even though it fell into his lap a couple of laps ago with the collision between Dark Viper and F1 Alex, 2 F2 rivals tripping over each other through the final chicane, he's driven beautifully. Perrier closing up to the back of F1 Scott though. We've got to be careful of this battle into the Casio triangle once again. Scott goes defensive, puts the old squeeze on the Aston Martin, but leaves in the room. Sweeping around the outside goes Perrier, but I don't think he's going to get the traction on the exit. No, he doesn't. It's going to be a drag race up to the line as Curbs crosses it first. I think it's Perrier that just about takes 2nd place ahead of F1 Scott by 800ths of a second, with Ches 3/10 of a second back. Dark Viper beating out F1 Alex and Dave Game, and then Guat's a little bit detached at the back of the pack. That was a brilliant way to start this playoffs championship off. I can't get my words out, too excited. But it is the Williams of Curbs. Managed it beautifully, took home the result, and that is the perfect start to proceedings for Mr. Curbs there.
Well, this is going to be stand and deliver. 5 lights on with Guats on the front. Dave Gaming will look to try and make a charge as well, and we will get ourselves underway then and racing, heading off towards the opening section of the track. That turn 1 corner Primera is important. Wide, it's going to go Dave Gaming after the big lunge for the inside. Now to Lagos. This is where you've got to try and be committed to the first big braking zone of the lap. Up over the hill on board with Dark Viper, trying to get this chase down. F1 Alex already up into 2nd position. That confidence is very much there, but now descending down the hill, a tough braking zone as they rush on down into the VIP corner. Brakes are locking aplenty as they charge back up the hill. And the F2 faithful are 1 and 2, and now 1, 2 and 3 at this moment. The move at Lagos, comfortable there on Dave Gaming, up over the hill, tries F1 Scott to make sure that it is those who are in F2 that dominate at the front of F2.
Yeah, falling off the road, Gwat's locking up into that hairpin at turn 5 for the second lap running, but trying to use the soft tyres. It's the Campos of F1. It's going to swing it around the outside. No response there from Gwat's, and up the inside, I stumbled there because it was a late send from the Van Al sort of Dark Viper trying to get involved as well and maybe relegate Gwat's down 2 places in the matter of just a couple of corners. Yes, he does. The Van Al sort clean around the outside, and that is from first place down to third for the pole sitter. Not ideal stuff there. It's going to be Dave Gaming in that road in car. Still with F1 Scott very much in the battle as well, trying to challenge this Invicta.
Out there, and Dark Viper with the fastest lap of the race, but look over to that left-hand side, the pinch that is there from F1 Scott trying to force Dave Gaming into a mistake. He runs a little bit wide, out through the opening parts of the corner, but into Lagos once again. That is wonderfully constructed. Round the outside, he's going to start searching, but again, wrong side of the road. But if you're going to have a snap of oversteer like that on the exit, again, being slightly early on the power, Dave Gaming's done that 2 or 3 times now, already in the opening 3 laps. You're just going to hemorrhage time, and that's where F1 Scott, smooth as you like, finds himself with what he wants. There are 4 seats there, and F1 Alex will be the first to depart for the pit. So he'll undercut, try and get himself on the medium tyres and go through. Dave Gaming's going to follow. He didn't like them too much out there. Only 5 laps on the soft tyres would indicate to me that he's really struggling a little bit with wear, having to try and break away. But Dark Viper, I would expect, and F1 Scott to potentially cover off that move, come in next lap, because any longer and they're going to be dealing with cliff issues, which will mean that those tyres are going to start really not feeling nice underneath them.
Surely we're going to see this Van Alstel cut into the pits. Yes, we do. Will Gwat's come in as well? Doesn't. Stays out. The Invicta going to continue. We've got a team radio as well. If Viper stays out, we stay out. 5-second penalty, though. I didn't see. I was reading the team radio. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. It's another mistake made by Dark Viper. And already, this is going to be costing him points. If this is playoff hopes, going up in smoke as he enters the pit lane. Yeah, but the problem is that the Invicta already only came out of the pits on the previous lap, all over the back of F1X, who has a wobble coming up the hill. And this could be the opportunity going defensive, but it's still going to be the inside given to Gwat's down into turn number 5. Later on the brakes, maybe slightly too late on the brakes, double lockout from Gwat's and the Van Alstel in front. But through he goes. That was easy as you like. No defense offered from F1X. The red carpet rolled out for the Invicta car, who steams up the inside to take second place, which is, of course, the net race lead. Well, he can certainly get dragged along by the Invicta car because those soft tyres certainly going to be quicker than the mediums at this stage. This should be very straightforward. No defence offered for Dark Viper as we start the penultimate lap of the race, and that is the lead of the race for Gwat's. Turn the table on its head. Gwat's was last in the last race. Too many last places there as he gets up into the lead now as Ches is into the pit, probably to try and get the fastest lap point, you would imagine. Scott very close to the back of Alex as well. Still under pressure, F1X. Look at how close Scott is. This could be a repeat from a couple of laps ago. Scott tries to go at the inside of turn number 5. Once again, no defence offer, but he tries to cut back and runs into the back of the PHM car. That's not going to be the best sign through their son, and he's going to have to be resigned to finishing in 4th place here.
And Gwat will make sure that his season is back on track in the playoffs. He will take victory. And now watch the stopwatch to F1 Alex. Dark Viper will cross the line, and it will be classified as 4th. We certainly will. There'll be 5 lights on, and he'll have to charge from the back as he has the privilege of the championship lead. Dave Gaming and Chesnoid on the front then, looking to make some progress as we get underway. Here from the Lusail International Circuit at Qatar. Immediately Dark Viper looking to challenge here in towards the opening corner. Little search there from the likes then of Persia, making good progress. Chesnoid with troubles though. He's back to 4th, to 5th, to 6th. A big wiggle through the opening corner has dropped him way back. Now down the field and with everything to do.
Yeah, a couple of taps there. I think the first one was F1 Alex giving a tap from the rear and then touching with Dark Viper as well, who is all over the back of the sister Red Bull car. The Alpha Tower Dave Gaming leading the way still as F1 Alex and Gwat's battling over 3rd and 4th. Ches getting back ahead of Pei with a send up the inside into the hairpin of turn number 6. But it's still the Alpha Tower in front and a huge cluster of cars behind. Dark Viper's lost a whole heap of places down from 2nd into 5th place. F1 Alex, Gwat's, Pei, Ches. Now through goes curves around the outside. It's down to last. He must have front wing damage.
There, Dave Gaming, who is keeping the world behind him at the moment. But F1 Alex, what a start. Did anyone realise that he started on medium tyres and he's going for the race lead? He's having a stormer and he'll go and try and make the move without the need for DRS. He'll get through, but watch out behind. Here comes Gwat's, straight to the inside trying to look for that race lead, and he's going to scrap every single stage of the way in towards turn 2, wrong side of the road. Here comes back Dave Gaming.
Don't get greedy, Gwatz. He's in a good place. Don't end up facing the wrong way. He's got to defend from Davey, trying to get these places back that he lost on the run down into turn 1, but he's sending it up the inside again. Was there a bit of contact? I don't think there was, as the Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo still pointing in the right direction. Somehow, after just a lap, Ches has picked up a 3-second corner-cutting penalty. That could prove crucial as he holds on to 5th place ahead of Curbs. And F1 Scott confirmed for us that Dark Viper has picked up some front wing damage, but under pressure, I think this is going to be very, very easy for Gwatz. Getting past with a helping hand of DRS. Will Dave Gaming follow suit? It could be a little bit of a sitting duck, F1. We don't know what wing levels he's running, but does stay in 2nd place for the time being. Maybe see an advantage. F1 Alex is blinking coming down the straight. Could lose 2 for the price of 1 into turn number 1. It's Perry sending it up the inside. The Ferrari doesn't quite have the overspeed to get alongside the Mercedes, but he's going to continue to scrap very, very hard with Dave Gaming, and they've been doing so for the first 5 laps of this race so far. Swinging it around the outside goes Perry. For the moment has got up into 3rd place, but Dave not going to go down without a fight, but does eventually have to concede
in this race as everybody else is. Thoughts about it, 1 and 2 dive. So Gwatz will go. He'll be followed by Peya into the pits. And that was a late call by both of them. Do I want to? Do I not? Diving into the pits.
Here comes Gwatz and Perya. They're going to fly through. Ches is going to come through as well. Fastest lap to boot as well for the Haas driver. We thought the undercut wasn't that powerful. Obviously, we saw the lap that it was, because F1 Alex, Dave Gaming, and Dark Viper and F1 Scott have come out miles behind. Curbs does file into the pits to get rid of those medium tyres. Going on to softs, bear that in mind. He's going to be very quick. Gwatz will, well, oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who is that? I think that is Dave Gaming, who's dropped it going through. What corner is that? I think it's turn number 10, potentially dropping it. And the AlphaTauri drops down into last place. Scott is going to try and challenge to get past Dark Viper, who that you'd imagine is going to be a very easy overtake. Side by side on the run as they cut the beam. This is Perrier versus Gwatz. It is the Ferrari that comes out on top. There is Curbs exiting the pits, probably going to be in 5th place, you would imagine, behind F1 Alex in the Mercedes. But no, he's in 4th, actually staying ahead of F1 Alex. There you can see in the background of shot. Ches, I mean, the undercut has worked out beautifully. He's got his 3-second penalty, but at least he's got some track position in 3rd place. Out in front, and he is doing what he likes. He certainly likes what he's doing, as his Curbs up the inside of Ches into turn number 1. Scott nicks that fastest lap back in the McLaren, but he's 4 seconds off the back of this group of cars as Curbs gets back up into 3rd place and can chase after the leaders on his red stripe soft tyres. Ches down into 4th. That will be 5th, even if F1X doesn't get through with that 3-second penalty for the Haas driver Curbs. This is probably going to be a yeehaw then. No, we meant to pit. We saw that a few laps ago, I think. Curbs is absolutely flying. Fastest lap. He's going to challenge for 2nd place down into turn number 1. Through goes F1X. That was pretty regulation getting past the Haas of Ches. But around the outside, we didn't quite catch it. But that is Curbs absolutely steaming through the field. He got past Ches on the previous lap. Repeats the order on this lap, getting past Gwatz up into 2nd place. And he's now going to chase after the Ferrari of Perrier to try and take, and I can't believe I'm saying this, a 2nd win out of 3 starts. That is unprecedented stuff.
This is not great, but look at Curbs over this last lap. He has been marauding forward. Fastest lap after fastest lap. He's not only lighting the timing sheets purple, but he is lighting them up in Qatar purple colours. He has simply said, this is my track, everyone else watch out.
Ches will be in 6th. We'll have a lot of work to do. Perry's out. What's going on? He's binned it. He's binned it going through turn number 10 and 11. I think that is crucial. As I'm talking about 5 drivers battling for 4 spots, the Ferrari throws it into the barrier, and that's a flashpoint that we weren't expecting. No safety car because we're on the previous lap. Elevates Scott, elevates Ches, will elevate Dark Viper and Dave Gaming as well. And Perrier, who was looking so comfortable in 2nd place, banking 10 points for his efforts and confirming his place at probably staying in F1, has now left himself with an absolute mountain to climb, probably the size of Everest, you would imagine, with what's gone on here, because he's going to be getting a big fat 0. He's going to come around the final couple of corners to make it a Williams victory for the 2nd time in 3 races, and probably confirming his place as staying in F1. It is a beautiful position for Curbs to be in. He's dominated the race since coming out on the soft compound tyres, got through a couple of places, and that is 1st place for Curbs over the line. Gwatz is going to be delighted, starting with an 8th place in Suzuka, comes home to bag 2nd, and F1X finally gets his podium. Scott was only 7/10 behind Ches over the line, but does finish in 4th. Ches, that's a decent haul of points. He's going to keep himself very much in the game with what happened with Perrier there.
This is soaking right now around the Hard Rock Stadium. There will be 5 lights available to them, and these 11 laps might be the toughest that they'll have all playoffs long. Dave Gaming gets a pretty solid start out there, but watch out on the front. Perrier with a great start, but it's almost Skittles through the opening section. Dark Viper having to scramble about with Dave Gaming, and now will be shuffled out through the S's of 2 and 3, and now over towards turn 4, just like that. Dark Viper away, Dave Gaming second, Paya finds himself in third, and F1 Alex hasn't had the best start. He's down to 6th. Oh, it's so tough under the turnpike. They now start to scramble about, and Paya losing out just in front there to Gwot, who now finds himself up into third. This is where they're going to get the big advantage, but because we're in wet weather conditions, there is no drag reduction system in play. It's too dangerous for it, and there is Dark Viper leading. Day Gaming there! Contact on the straight! Paya and Gwot there colliding together, and that's not what you want. A malfunction, quote-unquote, at a junction, and where have you gone, Dave Gaming? Straight on! And F1 Scott's almost got his podium. Where do you want to go if you're Dave Gaming here on the heavy braking section into turn 11, known as the beach? And just like that, he'll have a bash at the beach as he goes around the outside. Still has to hold it here for 13 and stay low. But look at the up and under from Curbs, and he's going to have next to no room to go. He gets shuffled out for his misery. In for a stop, so those wet tyres don't necessarily have the longest tyre life out there, and so that's aggressive from Dark Viper, and hopefully with his pit stop he's going to be out in a window that he can go out there and attack again. So if that is a sign of everything else, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers going, you know what, we probably are going to have to pit for another set of wets.
Here's the opportunity for Scott. Gwot's having some screen freezes. That is going to compromise him as round the outside goes the PHM driver. Gwot's can't send it up the inside of 4. And that is Scott finally up into second place on the road.
That overtake that he needs, and now he'll have an opportunity to make it happen here, and it'll be one extra position, but he won't get to Curbs in time as he looks to try and go through. That'll be one extra one then he'll put in the back pocket. But you have to say that with the way that Paya's drived out there, he has been given a gift here by Dark Viper, and he will be one step closer to F1 Alex, and we've got a showdown here towards Imola. Punctures incoming for drivers, and that's a big one out there. Look at that as a slide over the line.
Curbs, what a moment. Ben's jumped in the chat. We've got it from our commentary team as well that he picked up a puncher. He's down in 7th now. It's all flipped on his head. The championship leader coming into this, mind the gap, because he's down in 7th with just a couple of points to his name. Dark Viper did get 5th place in the end with the fastest lap, does recover some level of respectability. Curbs was looking comfortable before, certainly not comfortable now. And when we bring the standings up, this could be very, very tasty. The only things that we can confirm at this stage, Dave Gaming, you can see it on screen. Dave Gaming is out. 9 points. He is 17 away from Paya. He is going down into F2 or taking up a reserve role. Ches on 15 has got to win the race and have a lot of other drivers pick up no points. So I think realistically we can count Ches out of it as well. Dark Viper, with that major blunder, 18 points. He's 8 back, still very much in the game. And look at this. This is how close it is now. 9 points separating first down to 5th. Like we said previously, it is 5 fighting for 4. F1 Alex 25. 1 point behind Paya. Curbs is there on 30. Then it's Gwot's 31. Scott 34. 29 points was the magic number last season. 29 points, I can assure you, will not be enough to get you up this season.
16 laps to decide who's in and who is out. Welcome to the finale of the playoffs, and we are underway. Dave Gaming with a pretty decent start as he goes through. Dark Viper has got himself a stormer here, but he might be boxed in slightly, trying to find a way through, as now there's a little bit of contact as they shuffle to Tamburello. For the first time, wide goes the Haas of Chesnoy Gaming. That will bring F1 Alex up into 3rd position as they scramble to the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. Dark Viper needs help elsewhere if he wants to get it sorted, and up the hill he'll try to the Curva Grassini. That's where he's going to make it happen. The former Variante Alta is where he's going to find that pass, and Dave Gaming is there. Look behind for Curbs, because F1 Scott's over the back, and so too is Gwot.
As they try and bolt from this group behind. They can't squabble these guys. This is a potentially critical move. Dave Gaming up the inside into turn number 2. The Ferrari in front of their home fan gets a little bit wobbly, as does the AlphaTauri at his home track. F1 is going to try and swing it around the outside to get 2nd place. Cuts across to the inside to confirm it. Is he having a look at the inside of the Ferrari? He's not satisfied with just 2nd place as they come up towards Toza corner. Is there enough space? Jinking over. No room for Paya as he has to stay in 4th place for the time being. A lot of little jinks around for the drivers there, but it's F1 Alex very opportunistic to get up into 2nd place. Dave Gaming, he was staring at 1st, now drops down to 3rd.
I think F1 Scott's got more security here, but now Dave Gaming, he's going to say, you know what? I didn't like that last lap. I'm going to have my own. And guess what? No DRS. What a move to the inside. Dave Gaming goes third to first, and Alex goes around the outside of Dart Viper. What a pass.
But I think you can all work out what he's saying. Into the pits dives the race leader. F1 Alex is staying out, going for the alternate strategy. Dart Viper continues on as well. Interestingly, on those soft compound tyres, Curbs joining the AlphaTauri in the pits. And now we're going to see how powerful this undercut is. Gwat's with time to make up as well. F1 Scott looking pretty handy in 5th place at the moment, just a second and a half off the back of this duo. And now the Mercedes and Ferrari are going to be going down this incredibly long and slow pit lane. There they are. They're going to be miles behind this group.
And wow. That does not play ball there, and you really get the sense that that was tough. Out of the race goes Chesnoy Gaming. He'll retire it in the pit, so that's one less thing to worry about for those like Curbs and Dart Viper, saying his season's done. He'll resign his fate over to F2 next season, but up the hill, it's Peya versus Dave Gaming, but a couple of seconds. F1 Scott has somehow leapfrogged everybody up to 3rd.
He wasn't quite able to execute it, getting caught up in too many incidents, but I think he's going to fly past. Doesn't even need the DRS as he uses the slipstream. Fastest lap to boot as well. Extra point, not going to get him into F1 next season, but he does take the lead of the race. And he's going to be the ultimate disturber for all of the drivers that are going to be very much sweating. There's a critical overtake for 4th place. Curbs getting past F1 Alex. That could prove crucial as Curbs trying to hold on to his position in F1. The lights still blink at the back of the Mercedes car. Feels like F1 Alex hasn't had DRS for this entire race. Curbs is probably going to get swallowed up here, but he doesn't have to worry too much because of the penalty that Alex has just picked up, and that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the Mercedes driver. Still got no ERS, not recharging at all. He's going to fly past the Williams. This could be a little bit spicy with the Ferrari swinging around the outside as well of the kink of turn number 1. 2 for the price of 1 for Dart Viper up into 4th place as he continues to charge forward to try and catch the leaders in the closing stages. Curbs down into 6th. Gwat's has been detached from the back of the pack. I think we can safely say that the Alfa Romeo driver could be in a spot of bother here, but it's going to be Curbs versus F1 Alex versus F1 Scott, you would imagine, with Peya in 2nd place. Scott has been reeled in on so quickly by this group of cars. He's going to be a sitting duck down the straight. Scott's race could be tumbling as he falls down to 4th. Going to be 5th as the Mercedes of F1 Alex flies past as well. I don't think Curbs is close enough with the DRS to get up ahead of the McLaren, but that is Dart Viper continuing his assault on the leaders. He's got to get to the lead of the race, you would imagine. 18 points. If he comes 2nd with 10, 28 is not going to be enough. Has to get to 30 points if he's going to challenge for the playoff or the promotion spots. This is a critical pass for the championship as well. Dart Viper trying his best to get up into F1. He's made so many mistakes. He threw away a race victory last time out in Miami, but he's going to fly past the Aston Martin with absolutely no contest from Peya, who cannot do anything about the Scuderia Ferrari car, flying up into 2nd place. And now he's got 2 laps to catch 2.3 seconds to Dave Gaming if he wants any shot of getting into F1.
And behind, that is F1 Alex and Peya, and there might be fireworks yet with a last sting in the tail between those two. No chance for Dart Viper for the first Ravazza. A dive for the second Ravazza's not there. And still you think it's Dave Gaming who will take the victory. Dart Viper will not find his way through and over the line. F1 Alex will not be able to get what he wants. Curbs will get his safety. It's F1 Alex out and everybody else in. Your 4 in surely will be F1 Scott, Gwat, Curbs and Peya.
And we're going to get the final standings. For people that haven't seen it on the dock, F1 Scott does finish top as for some reason, I mean, everything's glowing on me somehow. Curbs finishes in 2nd, stays up, manages to get through the playoffs for the 2nd season in a row. Gwatz gets up. He was the form driver coming into the playoffs and certainly delivered despite having a stinker at Imola. He does come home in 3rd, level with Peya on 34. F1 Alex in the end with that penalty was 5 points shy. Dart Viper put on quite the show, but ends on 28, 6 points away. Dave Gaming and Ches were pretty much out of the running from the start of Imola, and we have to give a huge round of applause to Hayden Gullis for his excellent effort with those 0 points on the board there.